Hey, welcome everybody to the PH Alliance, Prosperity and Health Alliance, Business with a Heart. I'm your host, Wade T. Lightheart, joined with my good buddies, Creel Hutchinson and Siha Top. Glad to have you aboard tonight. We're going to the next level of prospecting. Probably the most important, well, there's a couple of skills, but I think one of the biggest skills that you have to have in the business, and we have got some treats in for you tonight because Creel and Siha are always prospecting and always looking for the next person, always looking for that. And as a business owner, as a distributor, that's what we need to do. And tonight we're going to give you some more tips and strategies. And then we're also going to turn the questions back over to you at the end like we always do so that you can give us the direct questions that's burning on your mind to say, Wade, Creel, Sia, what did I just need to know this one. Don't be afraid to ask. Use those questions. We love you. We're here to help. And we want you to be successful because that's how this business works. So want to say hi, guys, and then Creel, we're going to get you to dive in. So,
yeah, welcome to the call, everybody. Nice to have you on board again. Thanks.
Hey everybody, it's Siha from Bellingham. It's going to be a great show tonight. This is about making money, and this is how we're going to do it with prospecting, okay? So can't wait to chime in.
All right, so fast and furious, right over to Creel. We started a couple minutes late, so I didn't have a chance to greet everybody on the line, but hi all. We will do some name shout-outs at the end, so stick around because we're watching. All right, Creel, let's go hit it. What do we got, big guy?
All right, so kind of following up our theme from last week, we're covering Eric Worre's The 7 Fundamental Skills to Being a Very Successful Network Marketer. Skill number 1 is prospecting. And so, give me one moment as my computer lights up. So when you first get going, we want to obviously identify the people that we know around us are the people we are going to feel most comfortable to reaching out. So this is technically known as our warm market. You know, friends, family, people from the past, people that you have intimate relationship with. Now, some are going to be warmer than others. Generally, you know, the rule of thumb when you're getting involved with network marketing and throughout your network marketing history is to have a prospect list. So there's different ways to do this, but in general, we start with writing down 100 people's names. And we might need to use, you know, a general memory jogger. There's some great stuff online. Eric Worre shoots a video about prospecting and how, you know, where those names come from. The key is you need to get these names down on a written piece of paper. Keeping them up here does not allow you to maximize what needs to happen here, which is to reach out to these people. So I'm going to introduce this concept, need to utilize your power base. If you've ever heard of Grant Cardone, I highly recommend you check him out. I'm a big fan of his stuff. I'm a big fan of audiobooks in general, so I've been listening to several of his. And he's really just a professional salesperson that teaches you the mindset, the skills, the A to Z of what's needed. And one of his chapters in Sell to Survive, best-selling book, was utilize your power base. And we cannot underemphasize how important it is to actually reach out to the people that you know. There's history there, whether good or bad, you've got history with them rather than being a blind salesperson. There's stuff that you can talk about and connect around. It's easier to move the comfort and the trust level forward. So when you get in, you want to write down that list of 100 people. You also want to think about who these people are related to. So they might not be the ideal prospect, but they might know and have an influence of people that might access you. So, you know, the idea is generally 6 degrees of separation and the whole planet connects. So when you have 100 people written down, you literally have a prospect list, which is closer to about 1,000 people. And so in order to achieve the highest ranks in this industry and within Magic, this 100 people that you write down can take you there generally. But most people don't take advantage of it. Most people don't actually utilize their power base to the advantage that it can serve. So this is key. And usually what stops us from doing this is we're scared. We're scared of what people think. We're scared of shutting down. We get a couple of rejections and we start to, you know, time away from our power base and we start to look for cold prospects because we don't mind if people reject us there. This is the last thing we should be doing. We need to just get better at the skill set required and really maximize how you work through your power base so you take full advantage of it. It is extremely important to capture your network on paper. I cannot overemphasize this. If you don't have that done, do it after this webinar. Super, super key. And teach this to everybody coming in and ask them to show you what that looks like. Some people like to write it down on paper. I used to do that. Now I do a spreadsheet so that I can add information to it. So there's lots of different ways to do it. But you get the point. You got to maximize your warm market memory jogger, put your names on paper, right? So second part of this, reconnecting with friends and family. In order to reach out to people, and really it's kind of reaching into a relationship bank, you may not be able to take, what would be called, take something out of the bank account right away. You may need to put some deposits in. So it's reaching out to friends and family you haven't connected to for a while, having some relationships, having some connections, some cups of tea, some emails, some phone calls that you do not bring up the opportunity. You may wait for the second, third, or fourth, depending on your scenario, depending on how big you think that potential prospect is and how much you need to invest in the relationship before you make a withdrawal. Because when we ask too quickly for a withdrawal from a relationship that is not developed its trust and is not secure, it feels awkward, and often we don't get what we're looking for, which is really to educate and create understanding with our prospect. So put the time and energy in, right? Different ways to do this: reaching out, texting for people that you have everyday contact with, or at an extended. In my phone, I've just been putting people in wherever I meet them at any point. Whenever I meet someone new, I always send them a text immediately so that I can capture that in my phone. And then they also have my contact. Because sometimes I'll start to look through, if I need to create some activity in my business, I'll start to scroll through the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months of texting, and all of a sudden there's all these people that are in my warm market that somehow we had a connection, something happened and it dropped. I'd start to reach out and reconnect with them, right? And also then going through your social media. On Facebook we have all these friends, but friends being a very loose term, but you can start to pick and choose who you want to talk to and develop more of a relationship with, right? This is using your warm marketing, posting stuff online, which is get some commentary, get some discussion happening. This is utilizing your warm market. And we're going to talk a little bit more about social media in a moment. Looking at your list and thinking about the people that they know. Super, super key, right? I know for myself, the people I have directly sponsored are very rarely, I would say half of them turned out to be business builders, but half of them led to other people that are actually my main business builders. So it's not necessarily who you're going to pull into the business, but who they know that is really going to drive you to the financial security you're looking for. So keep that in mind. Social media. Facebook, Instagram, putting videos online. I think the more conversation that you can create in the public sphere, the more opportunity you have for people to like it or not. Obviously, there's a professional way to approach this. By blasting people with sales stuff is not the way. There is great online media, coaching, training, webinars, stuff you pay for, stuff that's free. If you really want to maximize your power base in a social media aspect, I suggest looking into that. I know for myself, there's people that have approached me through Facebook, through some of my posts. Over a 5-year period, people have come to know me as the Kangen water guy in my community, which I think there's about 2,000 friends I'm associated with. So maybe some of their friends are seeing my posts. And some posts create intrigue, and I've been approached and have made sales happen. So using social media and your network, which is your power base, once again, effectively, is a great way to prospect, right? When you make videos and put it into YouTube, you're going to have people all over the world looking at that. So raising your profile allows people to find you versus you always looking for them. I know Roger's probably on the line. He's making great videos. He's posting it out there. People are finding that. They're contacting him because he's putting himself in a place of being, a knowledgeable expert on the water. So support the community, tag activity, create a buzz that people want to connect and learn more. If you offer value, if you offer something that addresses people's needs, people are going to reach out. But if you just slap people with marketing and sales and it's inappropriate, it's boring, it's too long, you're going to miss the mark. So I think social media, used well is absolutely fantastic. Used the wrong way, it's a disaster. So please educate yourself on the proper way to do that. But once again, excellent way to prospect. Then we move into the cold market. Once you've utilized and really gone through your warm market, so your power base, which could take years. The idea is to contact people in a shorter period of time. Eventually, you're going to get into a day-to-day activity where I love, which is cold market prospecting. And really, in a network marketer's perspective, the key is to put 2 new people on that list every day, so you have a living, breathing network prospecting list, right? People you meet at events, people you met on the weekend, all kinds of people show up into this category. Your massage therapist. For me, here's cold market. Here's a little clue that I do. When I go for body work, and I put money into activity, I usually go to a person for 3 or 4 visits. If they buy a machine, great. If they don't buy a machine or aren't into the water, I go find somebody else. So I have literally moved through, and I find really high-end people that come with great referrals, and I work with them closely for 3, 4, 5 visits. But if they're not into the water and we have that discussion, then I move on to somebody else. I'm not going to keep putting my business into somebody that's not supporting me. That's my active prospect list, growing and growing. Network on purpose. There are great activities, clubs, gyms, yoga studios. Be there and, brand yourself. Bring me your water bottle. Bring up the conversation, create groups and activities, follow people on Facebook, find out what they're into, network on purpose, is be a pro around it. There's awesome opportunities. I've met some really great people in networking groups in Vancouver. When I travel, I also look for groups in other markets. Vending, expos, booths. This is a little bit more of an investment, but I know it's worthwhile for me. Roger and Sabine, I know you guys have done really well at that too. So this is an area to spread yourself in. At the end of the day, if for nothing else, it is a huge education because you're going to have so many conversations on the water quickly within a day, going through hundreds of people. Great learning curve. So if you want to expand your business, you need to think outside of the box. Your business is not growing unless you're talking to new people and putting them into the funnel. So how do you contact that cold market? Maybe buying Facebook ads. There's stuff happening with internet marketing and so forth. And that's not my area, but there's lots of great courses to be learned and figure that out. Door-to-door business. Really, what I mean by this is like targeting businesses, juice bars, spas, gyms, yoga studios. Go in, start talking to bike cycling places. Strike up the conversation. Find out the owner. There's lots of places to visit within a day. You could spend months in Vancouver doing this. Facebook searches. This is an awesome idea. Recently, we opened up the India market, so I went on to search Facebook and I said, people who are interested in health or entrepreneurialism or business in Bangalore, India. And I started sending emails to these people, and out of 30 emails I sent through Facebook, I had 3 Skype calls, and I've got 1 person who's actively looking at maybe getting involved with the business, right? So they've gone out to the office and so forth. So you can do this anywhere. Facebook is like access to a cold market in the touch of fingers just by searching. So no excuses. It's right there. Do it right. Step out of your comfort zone. I think really this is the key. With our cold market, try new things, see how that works. Business cards, leave it in certain places. Pick up business cards off, information boards, call people, reach out, try different things. Some's going to work, some not, but you're going to keep moving your business forward, which at the end of the day is the key, right? I'm going to kind of do a little synapse here before I get into that. Prospecting is such a powerful way. It's the way to build this. We covered the asking questions and telling our story last week, which is really qualifying our prospects. But this is where you find people and how you get in front of people. So great information with Eric Worre. I'm going to turn it back over to the guys so that they can add in their 2 cents. And let's talk prospecting, guys.
Great job, Creel, as always. I think you add some really good points here. I'm going to turn it over to my good buddy Siha because I know he's just burning He is the man in motion, the man around the world, and you're fantastic at prospecting, Siha. What's your strategies? Because you carried this over from your other business prior to in the mortgage industry, and you've translated it, and of course your success stands for itself. What is it that you feel is the meat and potatoes that people can take away tonight?
Thank you. Creel, you did awesome. You covered a lot of what I was going to talk about. But I look at prospecting, like Wade was saying, I relate it to my old business, and it's business is business, and we have to market. So I look at prospecting. Another word for prospecting is marketing. We have to always be marketing. So where do we start? You know, where do we start to get our clients? Where do we find them? I say, you know what, at the very least, for everybody, whether you're just a day in or 10 years in, look at your phone. Go to your contact list. From A to Z, you have about 500 people in there, if not more. And so your contacts list is where you start, because everybody that is in your contacts list should know what you're doing. When you're a professional real estate agent, accountant, attorney, whatever it is that your profession is, you want to stay in touch with your clients. So when I was in the finance business, we stayed in touch with our clients. We sent them a letter saying, you know, this is my name, Siha, and this is what I do, and this is, you know, I'd like to help you out, and if you need my services, I'm here to help you out. So I share with, in this business, we do the same thing. Everybody in your contacts list should know what you're doing. If they don't know what you're doing, you're missing an opportunity there, and they don't know. Look at an insurance agent. I use an insurance agent because I always get these letters from my insurance agents who are moving from one company to the next company. Well, we get a letter. I get a letter saying, hey, you know what, see how I've moved over my company. You know, this is a bigger, better company. I can service you better. You know, let's have coffee. Let's get together so we can make sure that you're taken care of. And if you have any referrals, you know, let me know. So again, go with what's in your database and let those people know what you do. Okay, so that's the first place that I'd start. Always be marketing yourself and branding yourself in what you represent and what you're about, whether it's about the health, whether it's about the wealth, whether it's about the lifestyle. You know, people want to know who they're going to do business with. So that's part of prospecting. That's, you know, like you're saying, when you're on Facebook, they don't know you from Adam. When you're, you know, when you're just meeting somebody, it's funny, but people, when I was in the finance business back in the days when they had phone books, I advertised in the phone book, and it cost a lot of money, but it was worth it because everywhere I went, people recognized me, and that just made them feel more comfortable in doing business with me. So always be branding yourself in your lifestyle, being known as a person of service, you know, that you want to help them. Become a connector, because we are network marketing professionals. We network. So one of my mentors, when I first started as a young man in business, and he taught me how to grow my business fast, he said, you're a networker. So when you're prospecting, get to know these people so well that you want them to call you literally for everything. Yeah, you know, because they trust you. If they're calling you, it's because they like you, you know, they're your friend, they trust you, they trust your advice. So that's what I try to become. I try to become a friend or a person of service and a connector. You know, I might not know everybody, but I do know a lot of people. So if you need a new roof, or you need this, or, you know, you need supplementation, or you need exercise, you need yoga, I can connect them. So my lifestyle is about health, and my lifestyle is about entrepreneurship. And so I come across a lot of people. So the message or my branding is, you know what, I want to help you in any way, shape, or form. And if I can't help you, I know somebody else who can. So the ABCs, it's not always be closing, it's always be coaching. I like the word coaching. So if I can't help you, maybe I can help coach you, right? Some of the places that Creel was saying where to get your prospects, for me, I like asking for referrals. Every client that I have, whether they have an Enagic system or don't have an Enagic system, I'm always trying to anchor. You know, Danny D. McCauley says anchor, anchor, anchor. What does that mean? That means, you know, connect with somebody with the water share, with the supplementation, with whatever it is that you connected them with. But then before you leave them, whether they have our product or not, ask them, who else do you know that can utilize my technology or needs this in their life, or needs a business opportunity. That's anchoring. That's part of prospecting, is asking for referrals. I don't think there's enough people asking for referrals. I say I don't think so because when I'm out there training and our teams bring new prospects to me, before they leave, I always ask for a referral. And then I'll have my teammates say, oh, wow, you know what? I see what you're doing now. I see that you're just asking for referrals like you've always said. So yeah, so ask for referrals. We talked about making friends. Once you've asked for the referrals, once you've prospected the clients, you have to continue. You have to continue with the follow-up. They say the fortune's in the follow-up. That's part of prospecting. And I feel, I call it dripping because we're in the water business. So I drip, 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 drip. Whether it's an email on it's Worldwide Water Day, or it's, a Green Earth Day or whatever. I'm sending flyers to prospects that I've spoken to, that I haven't spoken to, but I've captured their email, or I've captured their text or whatever, their phone numbers. So that's dripping on them. And you'll find that, people will call you for the strangest thing. Like, for instance, there was an email that I received from Lori Tauscher that was, it was a cow. A farmer used the 2.5 on a cow and got great results on the cow's eyeballs. Had pink eye or red eye or whatever it was. And I had another client who had a horse who had the same issue. And you know what? It'd been like a year and a half, a long time since I talked to this client. And that flyer that I got from Lori Tauscher reminded me, wow, I need to get this to that client. I looked them up. I sent them the email. I said, hey, you know what? I remember that you were having this issue with your horse. Do you still have these issues? Do you know anybody with these issues? I sent that, and that led to them getting a machine. So again, dripping on the clients. Sometimes it's not just prospecting for myself, but I help my teams prospect. So with the team leaders or with the teams, I'll ask them, who can I help, do a three-way call? Because that's part of prospecting, right? Yeah, it's indirectly to me, but it is part of our organization. So that's an important piece of helping your team build with new prospects. Craigslist is absolutely amazing. Like Facebook, it's free. It's a little bit more work because when you post an ad on Craigslist, you have to repost it, each week or whatnot. But it's worth it because it's free. Back in the days when classifieds you had to pay for it, it cost money. So when I'm traveling to a city, any city, I would, if I have the time, I usually would just take an ad out in Craigslist saying, do you know what's in Vancouver's drinking water? Come learn about water health and water quality. Mention my name and get a free DVD, or get 21 free trial of the world's best water. So Craigslist, utilize that. We have a lot of teammates on our team that are 6As that came from Craigslist because they were looking to buy a business, or they were looking for an opportunity, or whatever they were looking for, but the ads that we wrote up and we generated the lead was due to Craigslist, and it was free. And then again, we have some 6As from Craigslist, and we have continuing building teams. Business groups, your business, internet, BNI, business, national, whatever it is. It's there's different types of business groups and organizations that you can join. And I find that, a lot of our teams that do go regularly and network, they do have a solid foundation of like-minded entrepreneurs that refer business back and forth. And again, we have some success stories that we have Nancy, who's in Vancouver. It was from a business, she's building her business, and we met her from a business networking group. So those are important. Trade shows. Many trade shows, Roger Goodett, I can list a whole bunch of team leaders that are 6A, whether they're 6A or just starting, that started at trade shows, whether it be, health show or home improvement show. Even we did the local county fair. We were able to connect with new people. Trade shows. Parties, have parties. Wade and Creel used to have at the very beginning, a lifestyle party, and it would last all night long, and people just came, and there's no booze, there's no alcohol, there's no drugs, it's just high on life parties. I think that's what it's called, high on life parties, if I remember correctly. and organic chocolates and everything else, that's generating what do you call it, energy and momentum, and attracting different types of people to come to a party and not just a water demo or whatever. And then also leadership conferences or business conferences. I've personally connected with leaders from other organizations or other businesses that I personally sold machines to, because we're of like mind, and we went to those leadership conferences to learn and to build and to grow. And therefore, I listened to them about their product, and they listened to me about my product. I had a captive audience, or I had their attention for X amount of time, and it was enough to make a sale. So those are my tips for prospecting. And when you're prospecting, keep this in mind. It's not about the product that we have that's so amazing, or the company, or it's about what do they want out of what do they want that we have. Do they want the physical health? Do they want the financial health? Do they want the security for the future for them and their family? What's their dreams? Find out that, because that's part of prospecting, to continue to grow that prospecting so that you can, get a sale out of it. So that's pretty much it that I want to share. So I want to bring Wade and the boys back on. Those are my tips for prospecting.
Yeah, great job. And I know that you do such a wonderful job, Siha, going out there and generating new business. So some real gold there to add to Creel's side. I'm going to add a couple little things, and then we're going to turn the questions over to you. First and over, I don't know if you guys can see this sign behind me, but it says, "How can I help you?" When I'm in a mindset of prospecting or talking to people or sharing with people or anything like that, I'm not going out to get people. I'm going to find out how I can help them. That's our business. We're spreading health with true compassion, one family at a time. And in order to do that, the mindset is not who can I get, it's who can I help. And when I'm helping, I'm asking questions. I ask questions to people. So I was out with a few guys the other night, to give you an example. And, they're qualified. They have disposable income. They both want to improve their health. There's a variety of things that our product fits really well with. But as I'm having the conversation with them, I'm like, hey, you know what? I could put you together with that person, and that could help you with that project. And I'm like, I could put you together with this guy. Let me give you a call. Let me send you a text. And actually, the product of the meeting was I had met a couple of individuals in Mexico. I had introduced them to this other person who could help their business, and we were all meeting here in Vancouver just a few weeks later. And it all comes from the how can you help you. And I briefly touch on what I'm doing when I have these conversations. Like, yeah, well, the conversation, especially when you meet new people, what do you do? Well, I got a couple of products. I'm in the health industry. I've got a wonderful nutrition company, and I've also got a distribution business and network marketing with an amazing water technology. And by the way, what's going on with you? And then it's back over to you. So I don't hit them with, the greatest thing, the water, whatever. I let the conversation naturally come around to my product and service, because if I ask enough questions and if I give enough assistance out to people, guess what? Pretty soon they're like, wow, this person is legitimately cares about me. This person literally sees that I want to build a relationship. This person actually is helpful. So inside the brain, it's not like someone's trying to take from me. It's this person is an addition. The relationship is of value. The person is feeling that I'm giving to them. And I think if some people, when they first start out, they're so easy to give help to everything else. But when they start, they go, oh, I'm going out prospecting. They're like, oh, I got to get. No, just go out and make a friend. Go out and make a friend. Make sure people do know what you do, but they don't have to have a 50-minute thing about why everybody needs to be a water, or, you get on that kind of pounding on the thing. But I will say this. If you are in that conversation and they get to the point where they ask you what you do and say, hey, by the way, yeah, I'm in the water system, and say, oh, by the way, I'm working with a group of, so like if you're new, this is for the new person, and you can use, or if you want to start over again, one of the things I say is, I'm working with a group of socially conscious entrepreneurs who are teaching me how to make a six-figure income in the next 12 to 24 months. That's a great conversation starter. Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody that's looking to make that kind of income? It's an indirect. Do you know anybody? Look, I'm looking for some people that want to make a six-figure. I'm working with this really group, and it's an amazing project, and I'm looking for people who want to make six figures. Do you know anybody? They might not be that person, but they might know somebody. Or, you know, I'm putting together a team in this area, and I knew a few key people on who have a sales and marketing background who want to make a six-figure income. Do you know anybody with a sales and marketing background? Do you know any good salesmen? Do you know any people that can sell? Again, I think you're going to do a lot better if you're leading with the business than if you are at the water. And I started out leading with the water and become a water expert, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, that's great. But what I do find is that you get less obstacles financially, and you get into the financial aspect of the business side. And then, by the way, we have this amazing water technology. We got a fantastic UConn project. We got a great compensation program. We got these events that are going on. It's a great social thing. Realize that some people are going to get involved for different reasons. Some people are going to get involved because we've got a cool group that they can belong to. Some people because they're health fanatics. Some people because they can make a lot of money. And some people because it's a, you know, they love the technical side of water or chemistry or whatever it happens to be. It doesn't matter. But you got to brand yourself. You got to be the how can I help you attitude. And just put it out there and be casual about it. You know, you have to go ahead, but when it comes down, then you want to move back into those closing questions. And when someone says, hey, yeah, I'm interested. This is another thing that I think people make a big mistake, especially when starting out. If you don't have a lot of success, or you're just getting started, or you're unsure, or you're uncertain, or whatever, you got to realize that you're the person that's going to introduce them to somebody that you're working with. And you want to be not so much introducing the water or introducing business. Say, hey, look, I'm working with some really cool socially conscious entrepreneurs, and I'd love to introduce you to them. We got something going on. Let me get you on a call with my buddy Wade or my buddy Siha or my buddy Creel or whoever that is. That's an opener, because in their mind they might have, like, especially people you know, they might have an idea of who you are, or they've got a preconception, or they've got you in a box, and it's very hard to get out of that person's box. But you've got a relationship, especially with your warm market and those first 100 people. Hey, you know what? This got to be something. I'm working with some really cool people. Let me introduce you to this guy, Wade, that's showing me how to make a six-figure income. He's got a great track record doing it. You know, they got all these different people doing it. It's a really fun project. It might be something for you, but I'd really like to introduce, because I think you guys are going to get along. You got 10 minutes or an hour or 15 minutes that you're going to get on a call with them, or you send them to a business thing. Hey, if you like this business call, look, it's a 15-minute presentation or a 20-minute presentation or an hour presentation. Check this out. And if you like that, I'm going to introduce you to the guys behind the project. That's another even better, another level of qualification. Then it's easier to get them out to a group meeting. Then it's easier to get to explain the water technology. But if you come at it just about the water, you're competing against a million other voices that can supposedly solve their problems. The other thing is you have to recognize disposable income. Most people aren't going to tell you that they're not making enough money. Okay? If they're making a lot of money, well, this project probably not for them. You might sell them a machine, but they're already got a successful business. They're doing that business, and it's go for them. That's a great person to ask, hey, by the way, you're really successful. I admire what you do. I'm working with a group of socially conscious entrepreneurs, and that are looking for some people with some sales skills that'd like to make a six-figure income. Do you know anybody like that? And most often, those people say, yeah, you know what? I got a guy that's perfect for you. Let me introduce you. And now you're getting that person's leverage. You'll be surprised that successful people, the wealthiest people I've ever spent time with or hung out with, are constantly introducing people to other people. They're constantly going to events with people in an idea to figure out how to solve this problem, because at business, we solve problems at a profit. So what I'm sharing with you is the mindset, the psychology that you've got to approach your business with. And Tony Robbins says something that's really powerful. He says, when you have a challenge or you have a problem, you want to bring all your resources to the table. Write them down. Who are they? Who do I know that knows this? Who do I know this? So what is the ideal prospect that you'd like to have? Would you like to have a great salesman, someone who has gone through the trenches of door-to-door marketing? Maybe you want an ex-network marketing professional. Maybe you need somebody that has been used to making a lot of money and suddenly something changed and they're looking for another opportunity. Maybe they've gone through a crisis financially, their job got stopped, or they had a divorce, or somebody died in the family and income, or there's all kinds of different, what's crisis type of situations that goes forward. And one of the things that I've noticed about this business is a lot of people come into this business with a major crisis going on. They had a financial, an emotional, a spiritual. They've had a business crisis, a personal relationship crisis. Some of them all of the above, because sometimes they come together. Recognize if you're in a position that how can I help you? How can I be a friend? How can I bring more value to your life? How can I connect you with somebody? How, whatever that is, and establish that trust like Siha and Creel were talking about, by offering value and letting you know a little bit on it. So let that time, so you don't maybe hit them up with the water or the pitch or your business thing, whatever. You build some rapport by saying, hey, you looking for a massage person? I got a great person. You got a chiropractor? I got that figured out. And even better, if you can refer them to people who you know in our organization, our little network of people that solve their problem and have a water machine. Because guess what? Now you're helping that person in their business. So let's say you got a massage therapist. Let's say you got a yoga instructor. Let me say that you got someone that owns a snack bar down the street, or a restaurant. Hey, by the way, where do I go for you? Hey, there's a great place down there. They serve Kangen water. I'm on that stuff. It's great, but it's a great restaurant. You're going to love it and have a great time. Talk to Bob. Tell them that Wade sent you, and they're going to take really good care of you. And then they come back and say, wow, I was down at Bob's restaurant, and that was a great experience, and I'm looking for this. And these type of things are really, really phenomenal ways of emotionally connect with people and demonstrating that you're here to help, you're here to offer value, and that kind of takes the edge off prospecting. But again, you got to follow up. You got to do the follow-up. And I'm always sorting. So for me, I have a list of people that I make that, because I've got two levels. As you get bigger in the organization, you'll find that you have two levels. I've got the people in my business that are working, that are calling me, that are, that need help. And by the way, if you're in my organization, direct lines, all that stuff, and you're not calling me, you're not working a business. You need to, we're here to help. We're here to help you overcome that. So you're going to need to do it. If you're with Creel, you're with whatever, get that help so that you're coming together as a unit. You're part of a team here. You're part of a group. We're the Prosperity and Health Alliance. It's a group. We're global. We're with a NAGIC. It's global. We have webinars and seminars, and we've got all this stuff that we're going to introduce them to this amazing world. We have what people are looking for. So remember that and be proud of what you have to offer. But feel free to offer other things like that you can show value with until the right time comes to introduce what it is that you have to do. And believe me, it will come around. If you ask enough questions and give enough value to people, it comes full circle back to you. And, you've always got, and so I'm always got people in the hopper. Some of these people are 3, 6, 9 months, 12 months, 18 months. That are kind of hanging around, and eventually everything lines up, and I'm like, hey man, when are you going to get this machine? You know what? I just got my tax season back. You know what? Now's the time. And they get it, and you get a few referrals, and you're off to the races. And it was an easy sell. But if you're out, you get one prospect, and you're just hanging on to that one prospect for dear life and waiting till they buy a machine, it creates a tension. It's like, I don't want it. But if you're out there starting conversations with 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, and you can do this, you keep rolling this, when it comes to the point of questions, it just becomes natural in nature because they're entering the conversation at the time and the pace that they're ready for. They're ready for it. They know who you are. They know what you have. They know what's going on. And then it just becomes, hey, it's just like, hey, man, when are you going to get one of these machines? Like, you're ready now, right? It's the right time. And they're like, yeah, I want to get started, right? Or now, you know what? I'm tired of this whole business thing. I'm ready to go full-time in a NAGIC. And that's when you've got the perfect match of you providing the opportunity, you building the rapport, and the timing is right for them. That it's the right time for them, whatever reasons. And when that happens, that's when you gotta go in and drive it home to completion at that point when the timing is all right. And sometimes it's not right, and it'll come back, and you keep revisiting, keep that circle going, keep connecting. Throwing those parties and having those events is one of the things that I used to do to keep the ball rolling, because you get a lot of people going on, and you can't keep track of I can't keep track of all my friends everywhere they are and all this. It's not possible. But if I hold group events or I show up at group events, I can connect with 10, 15, 20, 30 people in a matter of an hour, and the hot ones I follow through up after. You see what I'm saying? So that's the key to prospecting for me. We're going to turn it over to questions. So if I get my good buddies, Creel and Siha, to join us again, and let's pull up the questions, guys. And any other comments you have on prospecting before I flip over questions?
Well, I thought that was great, Wade. The other thing I throw in on top of that is I come prepared with like a 2-sentence pitch, because you're going to get the question, what do you do, what's new, and so forth. So to have something that doesn't drive the water home, as Wade really clearly explained, it's more like just create intrigue, and then you can move on. So you throw it into the conversation. Being prepared allows it to come off really natural, because we've been in a situation when someone says, hey, what do you do? And we kind of stumble around. So being prepared. And I also, you can see how well part 1 and then part 2 of this webinar fit together. So it's asking questions, telling your story, building rapport with people is all part of this prospecting formula. And the key is you just got to do it a lot. Yeah. Now it's 9 years doing it, so it's just practice. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel weird. It's like riding a bike. You're going to fall down a bunch of times. Pick yourself back up. Talk to your upline. Talk to your sponsors. Analyze what worked, what didn't. Do review, and then get back and do it. And at a certain point, it's going to become fun, because you're going to be prepared. You're going to have that experience. So just embrace it and do the best you can.
Yeah, and one more thing is it's just not being invested in the outcome. And I know sometimes that's hard when you don't have maybe as much money as you want, or things are going your way or whatever. But if you can get to that state where you're really not attached if that person joins your business or not, then this gets a whole lot easier. And you get that way by going in there and getting punched in the face and kicked in the groin a few times and cycling through that pain. Believe me, there's pain. I'm not going to tell you there isn't. You're going to have some heartbreak. You're going to have some disappointments, but you got to go through it. You got to bust through it, and then eventually those things don't bother you anymore, and you'll see it bothering some of your distributors, and you'll be like, nah, I went through all that stuff. If any of us sound great or think you'd say, oh, gee, I wish we could sponsor Wade or sponsor Creel Syrup, you should have seen us when we started. We did everything wrong. We did all the mistakes. I hammered people. I talked about things. I did 2.5-hour water webinars. I did everything wrong. So all I got left is right moves. That's the way I look at it. Just don't worry about it. If you don't blow out all the candles on the cake, do you give up and say that's it? The party's over? No, you take another breath and you blow the candles out, or you throw them on the floor and stomp them out, whatever, and you get the cake. That's the way it is. So that's all I guess. I get so excited about. So happy to have everybody on the line here. I get so excited to have all these people. I see all these people on the line, and I care about you so much, and I love you guys. It's so great to be part of this group. I'll do this forever. It's just so fun. So questions. We want to turn over to questions. We got, well, first we got to say hi to everybody. Rodney, Kim, and Scott, great on stuff. Let's see, anybody else? Scott, yeah, great on. Hang on to prospects. Good stuff. Good stuff. Great to have you on, Scott. Okay, here we go. Here's a question from Krista, my lovely lady, I might add. Oh, it's cat's out of the bag, I guess. Anyways, but what are some specific 2 lines you use about what you do to create intrigue? Well, I'm going to let someone else answer that, because I'm way past intrigue with Krista. You guys want to answer that question? What
Sure.
are some specific lines?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So, and I have gone through different stuff. I write it out. I put it on my office, and I try different lines to different times. So, what I'm and I rehearse them. So to the question, what do you do? I say I'm a social entrepreneur. I offer consulting services to people wanting to improve their health, wealth, and lifestyle. Simple. I am closely partnered with a Japanese company in global distribution of a medical water system that specializes in optimizing health and longevity. I also look for entrepreneurial people to partner with in the project. So the first two, I'm a social entrepreneur. I offer consulting services to people wishing to improve their health, wealth, and lifestyle. That's two sentences. I put that out and I see what the response is. Sometimes when people say, well, what exactly is that? What do you mean by that? And then I could follow up with being like, I'm closely partnered with a Japanese company in global distribution of a medical water system that specializes in optimizing health and longevity. But I also look for entrepreneurial people that want to join me in the project. So depending on who I'm saying, I might switch that up a little bit. Those are two sentences that I'll throw out.
Yeah. For me, I've got it down. I keep it really simple. I say exactly what I do. And when somebody asks me what I'm doing, I tell them, Chris, I say, I speak on water health and water quality. I work with people who are looking for optimal performance. I work with a lot of pro athletes. I work with people that might be dealing with some health issues, and I work with families. I'm a family man myself. My kids love sports, and I want them to have the best. So I speak all over the world on this topic. I just educating people what the difference between tap water, what bottled water is. Matter of fact, I'm speaking tonight. If you want to come, I can send you a flyer, whatever. So my thing is, when they're asking me, I speak on water health and water quality. I try to help people optimize their performance. I work with pro athletes. I work with people that are that have issues or whatnot, and I'm a family man. So I'm trying to connect all these things to see if what is it that they'll connect with. Are they dealing with health issues? Are they looking for optimal performance? They don't have to be a pro athlete, but just that word there. And when I say I speak on water health and water quality, I don't say speaking or teaching. I like those words. I'm not selling. I'm speaking or I'm teaching. I'm not selling, because everybody says, what do you sell, right? So I like those words because that's what we do. And so I resonate with that. I'm authentic with that. And that's what we do. So it comes across as, oh, he's not a salesman. He's not just pushing a product. He's an expert. I try to sound like an expert, which I am. Remember, we know 99%, we know more than 99% of the people out there in public about water. We know that water stores energy. We know that water is a pH. We know that water, is microcosmic. We know all these things. We know water emulsifies. People don't know that. So take that confidence that you're a coach, that you're an advisor, that you're an expert, and that'll come off. So it's your energy. It's how you say it, and I keep it really short. I speak on water health and water quality.
And one of the things I'll add to that too is, as you say things more and more and more, it becomes easier and easier to take ownership of that. And if you're starting out and you're trying to try a line your first time out of the party, you're in trouble. It's not going to come out smooth, and it's not going to come out natural, and it's going to come out easy. So if you practice it and you say it all the time, you say it in the mirror, watch it over. If you look at the top guys on stage, or the top actors, or the top business people, they rehearse. The top athletes, they rehearse. So rehearse it till it comes off out of you naturally. So when someone asks you, you're not even taken off guard. Yeah. By the way, I'm working with socially conscious entrepreneurs in the water industry, and I'm looking for people who want to make a six-figure income. Do you know anybody like that? And what's interesting is the languaging will change a little bit sometimes based on the person. And if you study the bank, the personality types, the B, the A, the N, and the K, I'll alter the language based on who I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to a blueprint, I'm not going to talk the same way that I'm talking to an A. If I'm talking to an A, I'm going to be saying something like, hey, man, I'm working with a global operation, man. We are blowing this thing up. We got this crazy water technology that's just all over the place. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be wow. It's going to be wound up. If I'm talking with a nurturer, right, then it's going to be like, I'm really excited because I'm working with families to help improve their health at home, and it's a great business opportunity. I've got all these people that are doing great, maybe some stay-at-home moms that are working and have transformed their lives financially. And I'm only able to do that if I've gathered enough information at the first, and that's asking questions. So it ain't about me. It's about that person. But when the light comes on to me, you know, I'm up, I'm excited, I'm upbeat, I've got high energy, right? I'm into that zone. And just not too high where you're crazy, but the next level of energy just beyond where that person is. So if they're smooth and calm and low energy, you want to rise just up above it. If they're high energy, you want to run right up just behind it. If they're kind of low energy, you want to bring it down so you're just above it. That's part of the communication. It's as much tonality and energy as the words that you say. The words you just practice, and then you start moving with the energy. I hope I made sense. Next question. Ain't it great? Yes, it is, Landon. Great to have you on board. So I don't know. Do we have any more questions here? Are we good for the thing? Yeah, I think that was a really good question, by the way.
Kimberly had a question.
Okay. Kimberly, where is that? Oh, wait a second. Here we go. What's Siha's take on presenting the biz opportunity first?
And there again, it depends who I'm talking to, and that's why when somebody asks me what I'm doing, I say I teach on water health and water quality. I speak all around the globe. And if I can sense that they want, because they hear me say I speak all around the globe, and I can sense that energy, then that they're wanting an opportunity, or they want to do something like this, or they perk up. You can just kind of body language read people that they want to know more about the business. Absolutely. Then I go right into, you know what, I was in finance for 20 years. And that's my story, because I was in finance for 20 years. I want something that's stable, and I want something that's stable in the future. This is my only second career in my entire life. So 20 years there and 8 years now, and I see a future with this. So again, if the energy is right on the opportunity, absolutely, it's going to come out. So I start with the health, and then I show them the global opportunity. But then if I feel that energy, it's about business, I go right into my background is finance, 20 years. And I'm doing this, and this is 100 times better than what I used to and what I know. I have something to compare it with, so I can be honest, I can be authentic, I can be real about what it is that I believe and what I see, and that's how I attract them even more. I hope that helps.
Yep. I think that was a really great thing. Again, like, for example, I'm dealing with a couple of guys the other day. They're probably not going to build a business. They have very successful business. I'm approaching them from a customer, a user standpoint. It's a conversation that they need to get one of these in their lives. Money's not an issue. They're looking for help. Then I'm going to enter that question for a customer, which kind of leads to your next question is, where do you place customers in your business? Customers, to me, I just put in the next lane. Like, here's my next lane. Here's my next thing. You always want to be building customers, so that's a direct response, a direct sale from my lane that I'm doing. So whether it's a 2A or a 3A or 4A or 5A, or when you get to 6A, it's another 6A sale. Great. Awesome. Any other questions here, guys?
Yeah, there was one from Scott. Creel, have you done any Facebook advertisement?
Yep.
I have, but I need the lowdown with the, so no, I haven't. I think it's a curious opportunity, but I don't know enough about it. I'm exploring the idea of webinars and online marketing, and then really I'm in the phase of like gathering information. So I know there's great stuff out there. What I do know right now is that you need an advertising budget, because it can get very expensive very quickly. So for most people, it's just actually not going to be a realistic, do you have $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to put on the table to grab people, but then you need to put them into a funnel, a proven system of what they're going to look at and drive them to stuff. So it's more than just being able to get clicks out there. It's got to be moving through an entire education process. So I'm kind of figuring that out myself and wondering, what the future could look like. So at this point, don't have the answers.
Siha?
Kimberly made a comment, be resourceful, in all caps. Absolutely. You know what? Be resourceful. We have a 1, 2, 3 system that absolutely works, you guys. www.prosperityandhealthalliance.com. That is your resourceful. If I had that to begin with, I would be so far ahead at number one. And then with the webinar trainings that we're doing here with questions at the end, absolutely, our job as leaders is to give you the resources. So if I understand your comment of being resourceful, I agree with you totally. And that's why I'm traveling and going out and doing business trainings on top of presentations, because I want to give our teams, I want to give the Nagic family these resources that are available, you know, with Health Success Center website, with all the questions and all the documents and everything that you need, the steps on how to do it. That's resourceful. You know, plugging into the coaching, the automated coaching that at Prosperity Health Alliance. There again, that is resourceful. That's you. It's one less thing that we leaders have to do. That right there is being resourceful. Plugging into, you know, this to all these different systems that are out there. I got a call today from Shelly Osley, who's been sharing this with us for like the last 7 years or so, and she's just, you know, getting turned on to other things that's related to our water business, new presentations or whatnot. Well, that's being resourceful, because we, from the very beginning, we helped our teams get plugged in and stay plugged in, because when we're not there, you're getting the information, you're getting the knowledge from somewhere else. Danny DeMcCauley's, you know, the first Monday, that's being resourceful. All of that. So I agree with you, Kimberly. Thank you for reminding me to remind everybody to you know, we're giving you the resources. Stay plugged in, stay with it.
Yeah, and I'm going to add one thing, because I've been in online marketing now in my other business, my nutritional company, for a dozen years, and Facebook can be costly, and it can be very time consuming, and it can also give you the illusion that you're working. And I think everybody in this business has to take a real honest self-assessment about accounting on their lives, which is the difference between being busy and being effective. And when we're not confident about something, oftentimes we'll start selecting busy activities and then start rationalizing why the business isn't working for us. And the reality is all of the 6A25s and all those top people that are making the millions of dollars in the company, and all those guys that you see walking across the stage, you know what? They did it they started and built big organizations without any videos, without any online stuff, without any Facebook, without any social media. What they did is they wrote down a list. They texted, well, they didn't even text. They called those people on the list, or they visited those people on the list, and they pitched them the water and the business. That's what they did. Until you are standing in front of somebody, pitching them on the water or the business, you're in busy mode. End of story. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. And I've been in busy mode, and I've been in management mode, and I've been in all those mode, and do nothing mode. I've been in all out mode. But at the end of the day, it comes down to pure numbers. If you go out in this business and talk to 500 people, I don't care how well you talk to them, how good you are at the demo, but if you talk about 500 people and show them a 5-10 minute a video, and tell them about the business, you'll be 6A. That's it. I don't care if it's Facebook, emails, phone calls, knocking on doors, going to events. You need to get 500 people, and the first 100 are a practice. The first 100 are to find out how good you're at, how like what resonates with you. And the second that you see the goal as 500, I got to talk to 500 people. That's what Romy Verdera did. He talked to 500 people, and he went 6A and 90. And I talked to all the top leaders, and they had a mindset. And you went to go pro. I remember Occhino guy. He was a guy on Wall Street, a guy that was used to making millions of dollars. He says, I need to talk about this project to 1,000 people as fast as possible. That was his mindset, because he understood the numbers game. Why? Because he was on Wall Street, and he was on call. He was dialing for dollars. And all the people in sales, and we are in sales, it's the amount of people you get to, because not only are you going to talk to those people, you're going to get better at those people. And entering into a medium where you don't have experience, or you don't have skills, or you don't have those things, that can get costly and expensive and not be a good resource of your time. Better yet, get everybody on your Facebook page that are all your friends and pick 10 a day and connect with 10 people a day to get them to a video. And if you connect with 10 people a day, that's 50 people a week. You're gonna get some people that are gonna watch your presentation, whether it's by video or other or meet up. So take those resources out. Take the people on your phone and start contacting them. And you're gonna find that it's great, and you're gonna get results. So, I'm sorry to rant, but I really want to get that clear about it, because that's what allows you to blow through whatever is holding you back. So we had another question.
Yeah, we've got I'll read out a couple. We have one from Mary Ev.
Yeah.
When people sign in for the Health Success Center and they don't watch the videos, if you've got their contact, I reach back to them and just strike up the conversation or text out if they don't respond to a phone call, and just say, hey, I saw that you visited my site. Wondering if you have any questions. I noticed you didn't watch the videos. Were the videos working for you, or did you have a problem on the site? How can I help you? You know, be courteous and reach out. I phone people all the time. I just offer support. Hey, I saw that you visited my site, but didn't watch the videos. Was there something happening? I'd just love to know what I can do to help you. I think doing that is the solution. And Carla, for you, taking business cards from an area, I call them and I ask people, I did this when I was in Hawaii, I asked people like, hey, I noticed I'm new in the area, or I'm in the area for a little while, and I noticed we're both in the health field, just wanted to reach out. I'm kind of connecting my network, wondering, you know, meeting new people in the area, wondering if you'd like to get together, and so that I could hear about what you're doing and I can share what I'm doing, and wondering if there's a connection there.
Yeah, great.
You know, massage therapists, yoga studios, all that time. And basically, I'm saying, hey, I want to know you so that I can promote your business, and you can get to know me so that you can promote what I'm up to, and maybe there's a fit, maybe not. But let's get together. Do you have a half hour for tea? You're going to get people that say no, and then you're going to have the people that say yes. Focus on the yes always. So you're literally you're sharing an opportunity for both to connect, and then yes, when we talk about, you know, I'm not going to go over it, and Kimberly, you made some comments there around Facebook and advertisement. There's lots of ways to get around stuff. The idea is that network marketing is a relationship business. So you can get activity, I think you can get hype, you can drive people to a certain place, and that's going to create a certain amount of sales. But I think in the long term and longevity of the program, it's really about connecting with relationships. And so from Grant Cardone, you got to access your power base. It's $1 million business right there. We just got to be brave enough to open our hearts and our minds and our mouths and start talking to the people that we already know, and that's going to open doors for us. So I think that's it for me tonight. I think those are all the questions.
No, we had another one by Mary Ev saying the prospects. So related, she was talking about start off, her thing was when prospects have been signing up HSC, hasn't been back to actually watch videos, how do I go to by email or by phone or by prospect? One of the things that I do is you have their contact information. So I reach out, number one, with a standardized email. So, you know, a formed email, if you don't have that, schedule a time with me, Mary Ev, and we'll go through this for you so that we get this regular. Use the Book Wade site, come on over, we'll get that done. Send out the email. Okay, so they have that sitting in their email box. So when you call them or you text them, you reach out and text them, you send a text and you reach out and call and say, hey, by the way, Bob, I just did you get a chance to check the email? Or I'm a representative of the Health Success Center website, and I saw that you got online to check it out, but for whatever reason you didn't get the videos. I sent you an email to follow up. How can I be of service? So now you're a professional entering into the service equation, and that when a person has got an email and a text and a phone call, you're building up a little pressure. You know they're not showing up. People are busy, but they're like, this guy keeps persistent. And what's really, really interesting is if you look at the top people in this business, a lot of them got in after someone was persistent with them for 6 months, for 9 months, for a year, if they fit the billing. So if you don't know the prospect, you call them up and say, hey, by the way, I'm with the Health Success Center. I saw you got in. I'm here to help you out. By the way, how did you get access to it? I want to make sure that your process is great, that you're able to watch those videos. This is really, really important. And again, at first, it's not going to feel comfortable, but you'll get used to it and you'll get over it. So that's the big thing. That's the big thing to blow through.
There's another question, Wade, that you might want to help answer from Michael Cobb on that one there.
Where are we there? Let me go through Michael Cobb. We got Janelle and Patricia. Thank you. Very good. Great on stuff. Carla, we got that one.
It's down towards the bottom.
Okay, we're getting down there. Oh, yes. Hey, guys. First webinar, I just want to say thanks for the great. My question is, how do you help people who want specific studies on the water's benefit as opposed to anecdotal evidence? Well, if you go onto the Health Success website, or the Health Success Center website, and you go into your back office, there is a whole host of resources and publication that's access. And I know, Michael, that you're new to the business. You're just getting started, so you haven't had that. But once you get started, it's ABC at the Prosperity Health Alliance. Step A, you order your machine. Step B, you get your online website. And inside that website, we cover all those resources. And number C, you coach people to go to the website. You coach people to learn the aspects of the business. And then you coach them to get, to purchase one of our products. So we're always getting education and understanding through a coaching process. Those are the sequences that we've laid out. The people that do that, it works. Everybody develops their own personality, but I will say one thing about this. When somebody asks a scientific study, you want to qualify this so that you are not running around chasing everybody around. A lot of people are going to throw up roadblocks, and you got to come from a position of authority, and that is, hey, okay, I'm happy to get that study for you, Bob, but let me ask you a quick question. If I'm to send you a study that's going to prove X, Y, Z with you, does that mean that you're ready to get one of these machines? Qualify them. Your time is valuable, okay? Your time is valuable. You want to imagine whatever your income, if your income is $100,000 a year that you want to make, okay, and you're going to work 50 weeks a year, right? That means, what's that work out to be, $2,000 a week? That's your income level. So if you're working this at 20 hours a week to start out, okay, which is a reasonable amount of time if you want to be successful and make a six-figure income, you want to work 20 hours a week. Guess what? Your hour's worth $100 an hour. You're at $100 an hour day one. If you're making $200,000, it's more than that. Whatever your number is, imagine that and then get to that, because what happens when you start responding to everybody's question, you go on the defense, and what they're doing is they're stalling because you haven't really got to the obstacle, because really it's not about the scientific study. They're trying to find a stall because, number one, they don't believe that the product works, or number two, they don't want to admit to you that they don't have the money to buy the machine. It's usually one of the two. It's nothing to do with the study most often. There's maybe 2% of people that need a scientific. Does anybody need a scientific study to buy a Coca-Cola? Does anybody need a scientific study to go get a box of Kraft Dinner? If they got a scientific study, they probably wouldn't have those things. They don't want to even know the scientific study because they want the garbage. They want the bad thing. I shouldn't say garbage, but they want the Coke. They want the money. You got to realize it, and as you get better at the business, you'll learn the difference between a stall and a legitimate question. And I will say this, 90% of what people are throwing up there is a legitimate stall. And to find that out, you ask them a question. Okay, great. If I'm to answer this question, would you be willing to move forward and get a machine? If I can answer that question, if I can say, prove without a shadow of doubt, this is it, you're ready to get a machine, are you ready to go? And they go, well, no. Well, what other thing do you need? Because I'm going to go get this information for you. What other thing might hold you back from having this technology in your home? And then they'll get, and then if they give you that, you go to the next level, because at the end, it's going to come down to one thing most often: money, 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 and money. That's usually the biggest obstacle to the sale. Anything else, guys?
Great job. There's two more questions, or one more question, Tammy. What to do with the love of, excuse me, what to do when they love the water but are so stuck on the fact that $5,000, even after you've explained you will save money, not buying bottled water and so on. Got a few people really stuck on that. I saw you guys moving.
Great question.
Me, you know, it's a great question. We get it all the time. There again, for me, how I would address that if it were my client, I would really try to find out what is of the most value to them. I'm trying to build value on the $5,000 product. You know, if saving money isn't on bottled water isn't enough, then I need to find out, you know, what illnesses do they have, or what symptoms that this water could help with, or, you know, what are their future plans for your retirement, you know, because there's a business opportunity. So I have to bring value. I don't know. So from your question, I would have to dig deeper with the client in front of me to find out what are they looking for, and can I help them with what we have with the Magic product, with the Magic company.
Yeah.
Great. And here's what I would say. It's because here's a different example, same question. Maybe you've been going through this a while. It sounds like there's a little bit of frustration. I would just say to them, hey, you know what? Everybody who owns one of these machines had a problem with the price at the beginning too, but they still bought one. Tell them your story. When I found out it was $5,000, I said I was nowhere I was going to buy them, and I still bought one. So they're saying all the right things. And I would take them away from the water and say the price is not going to get any cheaper, and you're going to want this. I know you want it. You know you want it. You know you're going to eventually have one. Why not just get one now rather than 2 years from now, because the price is not getting cheaper? I kind of just lay it on the line and cut them off the water and check back in with them a couple weeks later, because that's going to circulate. That might be a sale that will happen 3-6 months down the road, or it might be enough to pull them in. But I think you got to kind of confronted. So whatever the scenario is, if they need more education, like Siha is kind of suggesting, or if they're fully educated, it's kind of like they need to make a decision now. I would be more to that point.
And I'm going to add to that too. One of the great things from this sales course from Jordan Belfort in Straight Line Persuasion is the best way to handle objection is to expect it and blow it out before it even happens. You have to recognize that for a lot of people, the price is going to be a major obstacle at first. So you want to blow that out as soon as you can. One way to do it is presenting the business first if you're looking for businesses. Another way to do it is to say, you know, our technology doesn't cost you anything. Okay, it actually costs you more money not to own our technology than it is to have it. I mean, we've got machines from $1,500 to $6,000. We're going to find the one that's right for you and put me in a payment plan that's affordable to you. But let me show you why this is so important, why this is such an incredible value. Let me show you the benefits of the water. Let me show you the environmental things. Let me show you the business opportunity. Let me show you. So you're going to go through a couple of these loops he talks about, where you're going to be, you know, you're in that kind of game. And then at the end, when you get close, that's when you start piling up. And this is going on, and that's going on, and this is going on, and the company's doing this, and the product is doing that, and the water industry is that, and there's Flint, Michigan going on, and there's fluoride in the water and chlorine in the water. Do you want your family doing that, and the environmental benefits? And everybody heard about plastics and water, the great mystery, and all, blah, blah, blah. You know, at the end, at the final end, when you've hit obstacle, then you got to turn on the knowing, and then you got to go. You got to bring it back down into the calm, reasonable man. Hey, let me help you out again. So you got to expect that objection. And I remember one of our early presenters used to say, how many, he'd do the water presentation, and he'd raise their hand and goes, how many people would feel their health is worth more than $50,000? And they say, you know, everybody, how many people feel their health is only worth more than $25,000? And they say this. How many people say their health is worth $10,000? And a bunch of people be in their hand. He goes, well, here's the good news. Our technology only costs $4,000. So he went from the health thing, what is the cost of your health? And then he brought it down. It's only $4,000. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's only $4,000. You know, it's the same price. It's the same price. And the people that didn't raise their hands, he'd say, you know what? You just said that your health isn't worth $4,000. Your health, your family's health isn't worth $4,000. And he'd hold it. And he'd hold that space while they sat there in a little bit in uncomfortableness. And you know what? The man went 6A in 72 days. No car, meetings at his house. He did this, and I'm ever grateful for it. So expect the objection. I hit it right off the bat. People say, how much is the machine right off the bat? I said, we've got machines running from $1,500 to $6,000. But the great thing is we have a program that offsets the cost of change. In fact, it costs you more not to own the technology than it does to have. I'll show you how that program works if the technology is right for you, and I think it is. Check this out. Boom. That's it. Now, I didn't start out that way. and Creel didn't, and Siha didn't. You do it after getting kicked in the teeth and kicked in the groin and kicked in the guts a bunch of time and going down to the thing going, oh, I blew it. Oh, and that horrible feeling that comes up. Oh, no, don't ask the price. Don't ask the price. Oh, God. Oh, they asked the price. I knew they were going to ask it. Look, you're going to go through it. Don't worry about it. You'll get past it eventually, and then pretty soon you'll be excited about the price. So, and building confidence, as Kim said, it just takes practice. And the only way you're going to do that is be willing to go get punched in the face, so to speak. Get punched in the face. And every boxer, every fighter knows that if you can't get used to getting punched in the face a few times, you're not going to win the prize. And the prize is worth it. The people that you're going to touch, the connections that you're going to make, the experiences you're going to have, the lives that you're going to change, the health that you're going to experience, the abundance that can flow into your life. I mean, for God's sakes, it's worth it. We're all here. We've all experienced it. You guys are on this line because we made a decision to go out there and get kicked in the face. So get kicked in the face and love it. Get back up, smile, go for it. Keep coming back to the webinars. Do the ABC. Don't give up. And if you're down, or if you have a down day or whatever, you want to contact your upline and get pumped up and get reinvested. The worst thing that happens is when you go off on your own and you become a lone soldier and you get in your own thing and this ain't working and you're the sort of, get away from, you got to plug back into the system. We need events and experiences like people going to church need sermons, right? We got to plug in all the time. Everybody, as Danny says, needs to be singing from the same hymn book, because the bottom line, it's tough and it's rough out there, but this group is moving forward. You're part of that group. You're part of the Prosperity and Health Alliance, and don't you forget it. We love you. We care about you. We're doing this. We can't wait to see you. We've got May 8th. Be there. Shut down whatever. Close down grandma's party. You know, forget about the draft or whatever's going on. Be at that event. Plug into the vibe. Plug into the vibe of Enagic. Go to an Enagic convention this July. Get charged up with thousands of people from around the world that are on this project. When you get that social proof in your head, you become unstoppable and bulletproof. And when they kick you in the teeth, you go, smile. Is that all you got? Is that all you got? I think you're ready for a trifecta. Let's do this great thing. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Creel, Siha, we love you. We're so happy. You are always giving us gold. Kim on the back end, you know, keeping us all sound and digitally inept. And by the way, make sure you go through the training at Prosperity and Health Alliance. All the technical questions are in there, and all the hard questions are here Monday night, 7 o'clock. Bring your team, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless.
Love you guys.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.